Have you heard that Nicholas Tse's parents are both stars, but their relationship was bad, and they got divorced? His parents are hot celebrities in Hong Kong. From the moment Nicholas Tse was born, his life was like a live broadcast for all the people in Hong Kong. Nicholas Tse started celebrating the New Year with the people of Hong Kong from the age of 3. Every New Year's Eve, he had to greet everyone. And his mother always made sure he smiled and wished the people of Hong Kong a happy New Year. At first, he didn't understand being a child. At 3, he smiled. At 4, he smiled. At 5, he smiled. At 6, he smiled. But when the child reached 7, 8, 9, or 10 years old, Nicholas Tse didn't want to smile. At 10 years old, Nicholas Tse said, "I don't want to smile. I'm in a bad mood today. Why should I smile?" His father slapped his face, saying, "Smile." He replied, "I won't smile." His mother then slapped him on the other side, saying, "Smile." He said, "Why should I smile? It's your duty to make me smile." Nicholas Tse was born into such a family. His parents divorced, which caused great harm to his emotional growth. His father accumulated a huge gambling debt and eventually had no choice but to sell Nicholas Tse to others from a young age. He was sold to the boss of Emperor Entertainment. Because Nicholas Tse had a special talent for music, he debuted as a singer and was directly signed to Emperor Entertainment for 10 years. At that time, Aaron Kwok and Michael Jackson were very popular, and Aaron Kwok was also known as the #1 dancer in Hong Kong. The boss of Emperor Entertainment wanted Nicholas Tse to dance and aimed to package him as the next Aaron Kwok, Michael Jackson. But Nicholas Tse didn't like dancing. He preferred to sing properly. Once, at a concert, his boss forced him to dance, and he directly smashed the guitar on stage in front of tens of thousands of people. Then his father, Patrick Tse, called him a rebellious son. He went through a rebellious phase, but it didn't affect him at all. In the end, he became a leader in the music industry, and his achievements surpassed others. Previously, when people introduced Nicholas Tse, they would say he was Patrick Tse's son. Now, when people introduce Patrick Tse, they say he is Nicholas Tse's father. This is a fact. If you say that his parents' beatings and family education had no negative impact on Nicholas Tse, that is wrong. Do you all know that he divorced Cecilia Chung? Why did he divorce her? Do you know what a terrifying discovery Teacher Joe made? For couples with poor relationships, who often argue and divorce in their youth, their children will not have much better marriages when they grow up. Because it left a shadow in his subconscious during childhood. He will project the relationship between his parents onto his relationship with his wife. In China, starting from kindergarten, teachers begin to teach children things, teaching tirelessly and relentlessly. In the United States, children don't start learning until middle school. Before middle school, they are all playing. It is not allowed to teach a kindergarten child letters like A, B, C, D. As a result, when the child goes home and his mother asks what he learned, he takes a plate and says, "This is round, so it's O according to the teacher." That's it, the mother said, and the child is ruined. She immediately sued the kindergarten teacher. In Germany, this teacher was sentenced to 3 years because you restricted my child's thinking. Have you noticed that children's creativity is limitless, but we have completely stifled their infinite creativity? Once I took my 7-year-old son to the movies. As soon as we got in the car, my son asked the driver, "How long until we get there? Can we get there in 3 seconds?" His mother and the driver both said at the same time, "How is that possible?" I said, "Stop. Who says it's impossible? Never tell a child that something is impossible. If you tell him it's impossible, then it really will be impossible for him. But you all think it's possible. When he grows up, he might invent something that can get there in 3 seconds. Today, we think it's impossible to run 5 kilometers in 3 seconds. I tell you, back then, people thought it would take 5 years to get from China to America. Now we can just take a plane. It takes 15 hours to get there. If you told someone 1,000 years ago that you could get to America in 15 minutes, they would think you were crazy. But it's precisely because that crazy person dared to dream that the airplane was invented. If the whole world used China's education system, saying impossible every day, telling children that things are impossible. Take mobile phones, for example. Didn't we Chinese used to talk about having 1,000-mile eyes and wind listening ears? You would say that was a myth, but Americans turned it into reality. Tell me, isn't today's camera like your eyes? I took Teacher Yang to America, and I can still see everything in my home because of that camera. You talk about wind listening ears. Was that a myth? Today, we can use phones to communicate with people on the other side of the earth. Don't limit your children anymore. Don't limit yourself anymore. I'll say it again. Today, I will overturn all your past understandings because, in my view, you have some garbage stored here. You know what we ultimately compare between people? It's perception. Everything you do today is related to your perception. If you believe you cannot become a millionaire, then you definitely won't become one. If one child is raised in a poor family and another in a rich family, why does the rich one make money when they grow up? The poor child interacts with Uncle Zhang, Uncle Li, and Aunt Wang, whose parents earn 3,000 or 2,000 a month. If you tell him to earn $1 million a month, he thinks, how is that possible? But why can the rich child make money? Because the rich child interacts with people like General Manager Zhang, General Manager Li, and Uncle Wang, all of whom have an annual income of over 10 million. He thinks, isn't it normal for me to earn $1 million a year? These two children have different perceptions. Can you understand this? A couple is very poor and teaches their child from a young age to save money, to accumulate wealth, and to never spend money recklessly. I ask you, will this child be wealthy when they grow up? He definitely won't, because in this child's subconscious, he believes that money is scarce, and that once it's spent, it's gone. If the parents are wealthy, being descendants of landlords, they teach their child that money is meant to be spent. It's just a tool. They encourage the child to spend money, starting from kindergarten, buying gifts, not just one, but 45 to share with the whole class. Only then will classmates be willing to cooperate with you and become your partners. I ask you, even if this child grows up in a family without money, will this child lack money? His subconscious, his inner self does not lack money. Now, after discussing this, can you say that you won't change? Because our subconscious is filled with fear of money, as we were educated by our parents from a young age that money once spent is gone, and that the more you spend, the less you have. Earning money is not that simple. I keep emphasizing this. Can you understand what I am saying? These things have already been implanted in our subconscious. Can you understand? Why do you always feel that you can't teach your own children? They are geniuses and you are mediocre. How can you teach them, right? When you speak, your son thinks, you are teaching me, but you don't understand as much as I do, right? Otherwise, it's like my ears are talking to you and you don't listen, just chanting. Why must you insist that the child listens to you? Both parents are unemployed, yet you still want the child to listen to you. You are directly raising the child to be an unemployed worker. And what more is there to say? Let the child listen to whoever they want. The outcome is in their heart. A person will listen to who they aspire to be. The most important thing to cultivate from a young age is the child's self-confidence, allowing the child to be self-reliant and strong. Self-discipline is the best. Young Chu, if unsure, trust me, and I will train you into a young man.